All right, everybody, this is Crypto Kid TV, and today we are discussing Wealthy and Healthy in 2025. I have my fellow tribe member brother, Cameron Brown of Cameron Brown Lifestyle. How you doing, my brother Cameron?
I'm good. I'm good. Life has been treating me well.
All right, that is good to hear. Like today, man, we're going to talk about wealth and health, and I'm going to let Cameron lead it off, man, with his program and everything. He's going to discuss a healthy lifestyle, and I'm gonna just turn it over to you, Cameron. Take it over, my brother.
No problem. Um, well, I'm gonna start off with I started lifting weights around 13. I started lifting weights and boxing simultaneously around the age of 13. So I basically uh, grew up living a healthy lifestyle. But
Okay.
unfortunately, about 2 years ago, I had a heart attack. And the reason why I had a heart attack is because I'm from Philadelphia. I no longer live in Philly, but I grew up on cheesesteaks and hoagies. That is just something I just could not get over. I still love cheesesteaks and hoagies. I just can't eat them
Man,
anymore.
and everybody do, man. I'm a vegetarian now, and I've had them Philly cheesesteak before, but I was a vegetarian when I went to Philadelphia the first time,
Uh,
and so I missed out. I'm gonna tell you right now, the next time I go to Philadelphia, I'm gonna probably just have a Philly cheesesteak,
yeah,
just to say I had one in Philly. Not that I eat beef. I
right.
haven't eaten beef in like 25 years. So, but yeah, man,
But
that like,
and I'll tell you this real quick, off the subject, real quick. I'll tell you this. The famous places that they show on TV to go get cheesesteaks from, we
yes,
don't go there.
no,
Philadelphians don't go there. You know where
you
you
don't
go?
go there. You go in the hole in the wall place, right?
The hood, the corner stores. That's where you get the best cheesesteaks and hoagies from. The the
Oh man,
the, the, the bodegos. You know.
that's what's
Anyway,
up.
um,
Yeah, let's go
so
for it.
about 2 years ago, I had a heart attack, and me working out for so many years and considering myself being in very good shape and strong, the whole nine, it gave me the false impression that I could eat what I want when I know better. But
That's right.
although I was training as hard as I wasn't eating correctly. And I was at the gym one day, and my gym is overnight. So I'm at the gym like 3 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why I go that time is because there's fewer people there, so I'm able to superset. So I'm able to do several exercises for one body part at a time. And
All right.
I like training that way. So I go there because there's less people there, and I'm able to train that way. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm training. My workout's almost over. I have calves to do, and all of a sudden I get this tightness in my chest. Now, me working out for so many years, sometimes getting a tightness in your chest, or just a little lightheaded because you trained a little bit hard. That's not unusual. So I'm thinking that is something like that. You sit down for a second, and at that point, for a couple of minutes, at that point, you realize, all right, this workout is over, or I feel better now. I can continue my workout, and let's get it in. Well, I sat down for a couple of, minutes thinking that, this will pass, and I'll finish my calves and I'll go home. Well, after about 10 minutes, it didn't pass. So it was, at that point I called, I said, all right, it's over. I'm packing my stuff and I'm going home. At this point, I'm actually having a heart attack. I don't realize it though. So I get my stuff together, I put it in the car, I drive home, and for some reason I just needed something really, really sweet. So I made me a peanut butter sandwich. And then I actually go to bed. I'm actively trying to go to sleep. I'll come back to that in a minute. Um, I'm laying there and I'm laying there, and all of a sudden it just dawns on me. You know what? Something's not right. This isn't. This is something's not right. Get your butt up and go to the hospital. Fortunately, the hospital is right down the street. So I jumped in my car and I'm driving to the hospital. And while I'm driving to the hospital, I'm thinking like, there's no way I'm having a stroke because I know the signs of a stroke. I know the signs of a heart attack. But this is kind of indicative of a heart attack. But this is things that's going through my mind as I'm driving to the hospital. But I can't be having a heart attack because when you have a heart attack, you're in dire straits. You grabbing your chest, you falling out
Yeah,
the chair.
you
You know,
man, you doing
exactly.
Fred Sanford, man. Yeah,
Exactly.
come
I'm
on,
not having a heart
Georgia.
attack, but this is the only thing that I can even imagine. So I get there and I walk up to the desk and I say, listen, I know this might sound crazy because I walked in here, but I think I might be having a stroke or a heart attack. Well, needless to say, I bypassed everybody that was in the waiting room. When you say something like that, they take you straight back. From the time I walked into the hospital until the time they told me what was going on, it was only about 7 minutes. They hooked me up they took my shirt off, hooked the EKGs up to me and said, Mr. Brown, you're absolutely correct. You're having a heart attack. I said, what? He said, yes, you're having a heart attack right now. We got to take you upstairs. We got to go in through your groin. We got to put a stent in your heart. I'm like, whoa, are you serious? And my ego, look at me. I'm in shape. There's no way I'm having a heart attack. Yeah. He said, that don't mean nothing. You're having a heart attack. And I told him, I went home and, I was actively trying to go to sleep. And he said, Mr. Brown, if you would have successfully gone to sleep, you probably would not have woken up. I had a 97% material blockage in my.
Did you say 97?
97% block, and that came from me having although I no longer live in Philadelphia, there's a Jersey Mike's up the street from me, Hoagies, and I was having
Jersey Mike Philly cheese.
I was having a Jersey Mike's every day for lunch for like the past 6 months, which contributed to my heart attack. So, needless to say, I told that story to say this. Needless to say, I changed the way I eat.
Okay.
I started doing my own research on things that I should eat.
While you do that, man, just talk. I'm about to step out, man, for a moment for our sponsors. But keep going, Cameron.
Okay. And so I found out the things that I should eat for my liver, the things that I should eat for my kidneys, and the things that I should eat for my heart. And anyone listening should pull out a piece of paper right now. For your liver, the things that you should be consuming for your liver, and some of these things are going to cross paths. For your liver, you should be eating leafy greens. You should be eating spinach, kale, arugula. Number 2, you should be eating berries like strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. Number 3, you should be eating garlic. Number 4, nuts and seeds, walnuts, chia seeds, and for as a seasoning, always use turmeric. So those are the 5 things that will help with your liver, that will help your liver stay healthy. And if you're in disbelief, look it up. These are simple things to find that will, help with improving your liver function. Second, your kidneys. And again, some of these things are going to cross paths. Again, berries. And that would be strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries. Salmon or mackerel, fatty fish. Salmon is definitely a fatty fish. Mackerel is a fatty fish. I'm not telling you to, cut out beef or, pork or, but if you're going to still consume red meat, get lean cuts of red meat. You can literally, when you buy a steak, you can literally see the white streaks through it. That's all fat. Cut that out. Cut that. When you buy a steak, buy the leanest cut of steak you possibly can. If you're going to buy red meat, buy bison. Bison is packed full of protein, okay? But don't get fatty cuts of steak. So salmon, mackerel, again, leafy greens.
Yes.
Apple cider vinegar. Now we're still on kidneys. Apple cider vinegar.
That's right.
Okay? Apple cider vinegar. If you don't like the taste of vinegar, so what? Take a shot of apple cider vinegar every other day. Or put it on a salad.
That's what I do. I take a shot, man. You got to spice it up. Even if you have to dilute it with some water or put a little bit of seltzer water to cut that,
But a shot glass.
With a shot glass and put a sprinkle of like cayenne pepper in there. And then boom, I take a little dash of cayenne pepper inside the apple cider vinegar. the first time you do it, man, it's gonna clean
Yeah.
your nose out.
It's like a shot of liquor.
Yeah,
It'll put hair on your chest.
like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yep,
yep.
yep.
There's another
So,
thing. Because we're on kidney
Uh-huh.
beans.
That's what I'm
Kidney
saying.
beans are
Kidney
great
beans,
for
man.
your
I'm
kidneys.
lucky. My grandmother being from Louisiana, love kidney beans, red beans, man. That's what's up.
Watermelon. Watermelon is great for your kidneys.
Oh man,
And
I didn't know that. I love
yes,
watermelon, but it's
watermelon is
good to
great
know
for your
one
kidneys.
more of the benefits of it.
And last but not least, there's 7 on the kidney list, and number 7 is pomegranate.
Oh yeah, man. I love pomegranates.
Pomegranate is great for your kidneys.
People don't even know about pomegranates because pomegranates have become expensive.
Yeah,
People stop
they are
growing them in
expensive,
their
but they are
yards.
great for your kidneys as well.
Yes, yeah. So one of the things is that all these things people used to grow in their yard. Like my grandmother,
Yeah.
she had a pomegranate tree. You had a fig tree, a pomegranate tree, a lemon tree, a lime tree, walnuts. Like these are things that people don't realize that we've gotten away from the more urban our families have become. But when
Well,
we lived
listen.
in the South, these are all the things that we grew on our property. My grandmother being from Louisiana, red beans and rice, kidney beans, lima beans, cayenne pepper, just all these healthy things you're talking about, brother. Turmeric. People don't even know about these benefits. And then apple cider vinegar. You need to make sure you're taking a shot of apple cider vinegar. If you're taking a shot of apple cider vinegar every day, man,
it will
it's
definitely
not too many
deliver
diseases
health.
known to man. Yeah, it's not too many diseases known to man that you'll ever catch. If you're putting it in your body daily.
To piggyback on what you said about growing your food, my grandparents in Philadelphia, but they were from down south.
Yeah.
So remember, I grew up in Philadelphia. My grandparents were in Philadelphia as well. My parents were in Philadelphia, but my grandparents, this is my father's parents, they were from down south. So in their backyard, on 55th and Spruce, in their backyard, they had a garden. And I remember as a kid, our fresh vegetables came from the backyard.
Yeah, man. Like me, I didn't buy any
vegetables. They didn't have to. It came from the backyard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I didn't buy vegetables in a store until I was like 10 years old.
Right.
Because my grandparents grew everything in the backyard. And then what we were buying in the store was seasonal stuff at Safeway and, seasonal vegetables and stuff like that, or vegetables that at that particular season, the only way you could get them is you had to buy them in a store because they were probably coming from overseas or from Mexico or something like that, compared to now where I'm in California, or I'm from California, but I'm living in Arizona, and a lot of the vegetables are coming straight from Mexico. Whereas when I was a kid, all the vegetables in the San Francisco Bay Area were grown in the San Francisco Bay Area. Okay. Now, if you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, half of your vegetables come from Mexico. Whereas when I was a kid, everything was local. The Napa Valley between San Jose and Napa, which is probably an hour and 15 minutes drive, you had every vegetable you needed. And so those are the things that people don't realize, is that as we develop urbanly, and that's why you got to get into urban farming, that as you grow and then people don't want farms anymore, then you become more dependent upon the stores. You can't grow the natural stuff that your grandparents, like my grandparents had 2 half-acre properties, and they were able to raise 13 children on that and rarely went to the store to buy fruits and vegetables. Like they had like an orange tree, a lemon tree, a lime tree, a peach, apricot, every fruit you wanted. So they rarely ever went to the store. And so when you don't do that and you live on a small piece of property, you have to buy everything at the store. So, these are the things that we want people to get back into.
Mhm.
But also, as you're saying, we want people to know about these remedies. You're talking about apple cider vinegar, man. So, man, is there any other things we need to be
yeah.
man?
Oh yeah. So we covered kidneys, we covered liver. Last but not least, the old chicken here, the heart.
Oh man.
These foods will reduce your they will unclog your arteries
Okay.
and reduce arterial plaque. Okay, so if you've been eating, a bunch of processed foods and beef every day, best believe you have clogged arteries.
Mm-hmm.
So to combat that, these are foods that you can eat that will naturally unclog your arteries, so your blood flow can flow easily through your heart, through your veins, and all over your body.
It just, man, I just want to take a time out, everybody. Like, man, all these things, man, you can learn by being a part of the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So click the link below, man. Get wealthy and healthy in 2025. Go to kalimuscle.com/shop. Hit that, man. And Cameron is one of the tribe members, man. And this guy's been doing, like he said, he's been doing fitness since he was 13. And we're the same age. He's in his 50s now. Mm-hmm. So these are the things that you can learn by being a tribe member, how to be healthy and wealthy in 2025. I want to give it back to you, my brother.
And martial arts.
And martial arts, since he was 13.
Kickboxing, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, grappling, and then, of course, Muay Thai.
Yes, brother been doing it for a long time.
So number one on the list, and people just do not realize this, hands down, is the superfood of superfoods. This one fruit probably fixes everything.
Man, tell me about this, man.
You already know what it is, but you just don't know everything that it does. It helps with liver function, it helps with kidney function, and it definitely helps with heart function. Avocados.
I knew you were going to say that. That brother said it, and I knew it.
Superfood or the superfood or the superfood. I eat an avocado every single day. Now, because I've had a heart attack, I asked the doctor after I've had the heart attack, because now I'm considered to have heart disease. I asked the doctor, and what happens when you have heart disease, or what happens when you've had a heart attack, or you've had high blood pressure, should I say. Once you've had high blood pressure for a significant amount of time, what happens is every single muscle in your body, you would want to get bigger as a man. You will want your biceps bigger. You will want your shoulders bigger, your thighs. The one muscle that you do not want to get bigger under no circumstance is your heart.
Your
heart is a muscle. You do not want your heart to grow. Okay.
Man,
and high blood pressure. What happens is when you have high blood pressure, it makes your heart work harder. And any muscle that you have that has to work harder, what happens? It grows. Like when you're curling weights, you're making your muscle work harder. So your biceps grow. Well, if you have high blood pressure, your heart grows. Exactly. And once your heart gets bigger than what it's supposed to be, you are considered to have heart disease. And I asked the doctor, is there anything that I can do to make my heart a normal size again? Unfortunately, no. So I'm going to have heart disease for the rest of my life from having that heart attack. But on that same token, that does not mean that I can't live a long, healthy life.
Yeah, because there might be things we don't know about that have been discovered or will be discovered.
Right. But what I have to do now is be very vigilant in taking care of my heart for the rest of my life.
And so can you give us some recommendations on how to do that?
By eating these foods.
That's what I'm saying. So we need, like, I eat an avocado every day. Kali Muscle just told me I need to eat a avocado every meal. And if you guys haven't noticed, even when you go to Walmart, man, the price of an avocado is expensive, man. Because
True.
yeah,
Here's another little trick for you, though.
But if you, I mean, your heart is your biggest muscle, and it keeps your body alive. So if you want to stay alive, you need to stop doing You need to stop buying something else, so you can buy more avocados. Is the message.
Right? And I'm gonna give you a little trick to that as well when I finish
All
this.
right, he's about to give us that.
So here's a trick for avocado. Check if you can't eat an avocado every day. Here's a little trick: drink a shot glass of extra virgin olive oil every day.
I heard about that too.
Same difference. So let me continue. Again, I said a lot of these things will cross. Salmon, oatmeal. Oatmeal is so heart healthy, it's ridiculous. Oatmeal for breakfast and an avocado. You have just set yourself for the rest of the day of heart healthy food.
I need to go back to that because as a kid, as a child, my favorite meal, my grandmother and my mother's favorite meal was oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
And I just ate too much of it, but I need to go back to it, man. And because man, it's good for cholesterol levels.
Yes.
Man, it's just
all you have to do is look it up. You will discover all the benefits that oatmeal has to offer. Oatmeal is extremely heart healthy. And last but not least, squash.
Oh man,
squash is heart healthy.
That's gonna be hard for me, man, because that's my least favorite vegetable, man.
Well, let
butter. Now I will say I do love butternut squash soup. That's pretty much it. Butternut squash soup is pretty much.
Well, have you tried this recipe? This is what I do. I will buy a squash, no matter what kind of squash, because there's several different kinds. No matter what kind of squash it is, I'll buy a squash, literally cut it in half, and then put salt. Salt. I don't really use salt. I use salt alternatives. I can show you salt alternatives I use, but I'll use a salt alternative, some pepper, and some Mrs. Dash, and put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Okay, it tastes great. As far as I'm concerned, it tastes better than sweet potatoes. Okay. So those
I need to be open to trying that. So I will be open.
So those are the things that you can eat for your liver, your heart, and your kidneys. Now check this out. This is something that I tell everybody. If you don't buy it, it won't be in your house for you to eat. Stop going to the supermarket and buying crap. Don't buy donuts because you can't wake up in the middle of the night and eat a donut because you don't have it.
Well, I had that
shopping cart. You can't eat potato chips if you didn't buy it. You can't eat. You can't drink sodas if you didn't buy it. So when you go shopping, only buy healthy foods. Don't buy junk foods. You can't eat junk foods if you don't have junk foods.
When I went on my walk earlier with my wife that I was telling you about, that's what I was telling her. I said, I can't, I said, my weakness is donuts and ice cream. And I was like, I can't have donuts in the house or I will eat them.
Yeah.
I said, if I start, like if one day I go to Safeway and get donuts, then I'll start going every day to Safeway or Dunkin' Donut and start eating donuts. And then ice cream. I was like, I have a weakness for ice cream. So I don't buy donuts and ice cream because I will eat them.
Exactly.
Of course, with that being said, she just bought 3 gallons of ice cream. So I was like, oh my God, man. Oh my God.
You're really making it hard for me, baby. You're really making it hard for me.
She's like, well, it's Christmas. That's her excuse, man. So I'm just like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm gonna lose my 6-pack. So so I got to stay away from that. So so those are my 2 things.
Yeah, that's
right there with you. I don't buy them because I know
that's the trick that I tell everybody. If you don't buy it, you can't have it. You can't eat it because you don't have it.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't buy it.
Number 1. Man, and it's bad. Lay's classic potato chips, the yellow bag, man. If I go to Smart and Final and buy the family size, the yellow chip, I can eat half of those, man.
And
And
in
that's
one
what I
sitting.
did with all that in one sitting, man. And
Mhm.
I could just watch a Netflix, man. Just watch a
See,
couple of hours of Netflix and I can eat
mhm.
half that bag.
See, this is the deal. This is the deal.
And then my blood pressure is going through the roof, the
Mhm.
salt that I'm eating, and
Mhm.
that's not
Mhm.
good, man.
See, this is the deal. This is the deal. I'm not 17 years old anymore. You're not 17 years old anymore. I'm sure a lot of the viewers are not 17 years old anymore. We can't eat that crap anymore. Our bodies can't
Wow.
produce it. It doesn't, it makes us fat, it makes us sick. We
Yeah.
can't eat that crap anymore. And if you want to continue to live into your 70s and 80s, you have to cut that crap out your life. Just that's what it is. That's what it
Yeah.
is. You
And
can
that's a
accept
hard
it or
thing for
not.
you.
You can face that fact or not. Hey, listen, that's just what it is. You can't eat that crap anymore. Okay,
Yep.
act
So,
like a grown ass adult and realize that I can't put that stuff in my body no more.
no.
I can't put processed foods in my body anymore. It just
Yeah,
does
man.
not work. Okay,
It's like the old commercials of Tums and Alka-Seltzer, and
Mhm.
they talk about, hey man, have you been playing poker and eating pepperoni pizza and drinking beer and smoking cigars and all that stuff, and
Mhm.
then now you need an Alka-Seltzer because you got heartburn and indigestion from
Mhm.
doing all that stuff,
Yeah,
man.
they're basically promoting an unhealthy lifestyle
Yes.
to sell their product.
Yeah, so you can't do stuff like that. You can't just sit
No,
around drinking beer, eating pepperoni pizza, smoking cigars, man. That's it. Playing
listen, man.
poker. That's
Let
not
me
going to
tell you
work.
something. And I um I'm going to go here. I no longer smoke or drink. Okay, I smoked and drank for years. I grew up smoking and drinking. Okay,
Mhm.
I started boxing and lifting weights at 13. Also started smoking cigarettes and weed at 13. Okay,
Mhm.
by the time I was 20, I was drinking, and you know the time frame.
Yep.
Around the time I was 20, I was drinking a 40 OD every day. Well,
Yep.
more than a 40 OD because I was out there on the corner. I was hustling with all the homies and everything. We would go
Yep.
down. We
I
would go down.
remember that era, man. We
Yeah,
both
yeah,
did
yeah,
it,
yeah.
man.
Uh, 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 uh,
King
late
Cobras
80s, yeah,
and oh
late 80s, early 90s. We was
yeah.
the beer distributor down the corner. We was
St.
smoking
Ives.
on
We
the
was
block.
drinking
We
St.
would go
Ives.
get a case of 40s. You dig me? And we was out there daily. We was hugging the block daily. So
That
I
was a
said
good
that.
time, man. I'm
Yeah,
glad that
I
era is
said that.
over.
Right. I
I'm
said that to
glad
say
it's
this.
over, but it was fun,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I said that to say this. I grew up smoking cigarettes. I grew up smoking marijuana, and I grew up drinking. Okay. I no longer do any of that stuff anymore. I stopped smoking cigarettes at the age of 30. I stopped smoking marijuana at the age of 51. And I stopped smoking and I stopped drinking around 51 as well. um, I no longer do that stuff. That stuff will kill you as well. The
Yeah.
reason why I stopped smoking marijuana and I stopped smoking cigarettes because I just got tired of sparring and being winded. My opponents, younger than me, in my class and in school, were a little bit younger than me and had they had more stamina than me,
Yeah, man. Because you were
Like,
smoking
look,
cigarettes.
if I'm gonna continue this martial arts shit, I'm gonna have to stop smoking. These young bulls kicking my ass.
Yeah.
But I
Straight up.
continue to smoke marijuana. And the reason why I stopped smoking marijuana is because I was under the impression, and I heard so many times, marijuana isn't as bad as cigarettes. There's no real proof that marijuana causes lung damage in it. Well, I have a story behind that. Both of my parents are no longer here. Both of my parents smoked cigarettes and marijuana. They both stopped smoking cigarettes years prior to their death, but they both continued to smoke marijuana up until their deaths.
Mhm.
My dad had complications from years and years of smoking cigarettes. He had clogged arteries from years and years of smoking cigarettes, that which contributed to his death. but he continued to smoke marijuana up until his death. And a lot of things that one thing that people don't realize is when you smoke blunts, because I stopped smoking blunts. I just started, going back to old school. I was smoking joints, regular joints with paper. I stopped smoking blunts because when you smoke blunts, you're smoking tobacco. You might as well be smoking.
Yeah, I went through that. I went through that period, man. I had to. I have asthma.
So you shouldn't be smoking anyway.
So I smoke herb. But for me, it helps with my lungs and it opens the expansion and helps my breathing. However, when I was around friends and family, they wanted to roll it up in blunts.
Yeah. No.
And I'm allergic to tobacco, and you smoking nicotine, and it just causes all kind of breathing complications. So the only way I could stop that is not be around them when they smoke. That was the only way. The only way I could smoke through paper or a pipe or smoke pure is to refuse to smoke with my family and friends because they were rolling it in blunts. And I was telling them, I said, look, like you guys, like what you're doing, you're mixing nicotine with cannabis, and nicotine is going to give you a rush. And cannabis is going to give you a low. And then in addition to that, you're smoking tobacco leaf, which is, like 10 times stronger than cigarettes. Yeah. So you're increasing your exposure to tobacco and carcinogens at a 10 times rate, even though you're smoking herb. Yep. And it fell on deaf ears. Like I was with my family a year ago. And they were like, you don't hear nobody.
You don't hear nobody. You know as well as I do. You don't hear nobody because you're going to justify what you heard here and there that benefits your thinking at the time. You dig me? So you're not going to hear nothing. You're not going to hear nothing negative that anybody says about smoking marijuana. Anyway, so let me finish my story. So my dad passed first, and then my mother, she was hospitalized for an entire year before she passed. So she went to the hospital. She never came home. She was in the hospital for an entire year. And my mom had a lot of lung issues. Now, she had stopped smoking cigarettes years prior, but she continued to smoke marijuana up until her hospitalization. And then she was in the hospital for a year, and then she passed. But she had a lot of complications with her lungs. And I pulled the doctor to the side. I said, because now I'm curious about my own health. Both of my parents, had lung issues that, wind up passing, from years and years of smoking. So I pulled the doctor to the side. I said, listen, my mom has, all of these issues with her lungs, and she's on these breathing machines and, giving her these breathing treatments, daily and so forth. Let me ask you a question. She stopped smoking cigarettes years ago, but she continued to smoke marijuana up until, she came here. Did this in any way contribute to the lung issues that she's having? He said, Mr. Brown, the fact that she smoked cigarettes for so many years, that may be, what has, contributed to this. But the fact that she smoked marijuana up until the time, I can't really tell you. There's no definitive evidence that marijuana causes lung damage, but I can tell you this. It didn't help. That was enough for me to say, because I got it coming from both parents. That was enough for me to say, I'm going to stop polluting my lungs today.
That's what's up, man.
And I never smoked again. And mind you, I was smoking. I was 51. I'm 55, so 4 years. But I smoked weed every single day of my life, only the times that I was not incarcerated. I smoked weed, or if I, had a cold or something, or, I was sick or had the flu. Other than that, I smoked marijuana every day of my life.
I know that,
man. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to stop polluting my lungs because of my parents. I'm not going down the road and suffering like my father did. I'm not going down the road and suffering like my mother did. And at the same time, it was like, you know what? This all of this shit is gone. It's dead. I'm not doing it
to the next level, man. Like we have to drop things. We have to be stronger than our previous generation, stronger than our parents, better than our parents, improve on our parents' weaknesses, man. And that's what we're all doing, man. So yeah. So right before we wrap up, man, everybody, this is what we're talking about with being healthy and wealthy in 2025. So if you want to get healthy and wealthy, click the link below. You see it, Wealth and Health, and that's kalimuscle.com/shop. Get started with our program. This is Cameron Brown Lifestyle. He's one of our tribe members, and he's talking about having a healthy lifestyle. So, is there anything you want to say before you wrap it up for tonight, man, my brother? Because you didn't set it straight.
I think we covered everything that I wanted.
Yeah, man. Like we all need to make sure that we are eating at least one avocado a day. I think that's one thing that I've gained. And and then also I noticed that we all have vices. We all have weaknesses. Mine is donuts and ice cream. So I don't buy them, because if I buy them and they're in the house, I'm going to eat them. So that is another point Cameron made, is don't put it in your shopping cart. If you take it home, you take those classic Lay's potato chips, the yellow bag, you're going to eat them.
And let me piggyback off of what you just said. Do not let your vices control you. You control your vices. You're a grown-ass man. You're a grown-ass woman. You know what you shouldn't be doing. You know what you should be putting in your body. Act like it. Hold yourself responsible. You're grown.
Put the ho-hos down.
Exactly. You know you can't eat that crap. And you know
you're getting too old to eat it.
If you don't know what you should be eating, research what you should be eating. Period.
Come on. Yeah, like preach, brother, because we all end up eating stuff that we know we shouldn't be eating. And we got to stop doing it, man. Like me, I know I caught myself eating a bag of classic Lay's potato chips. It was 4th of July, and they, man, I went into Walmart. They had them for $2. That bag was so big.
You couldn't resist.
Man. And I bought them, man. And I was like, I knew I should have bought them, man.
But again, that goes into, you have to overcome your temptations.
Yeah. So, man,
again, you're grown. You can't.
I'm a grown-ass man. Cannot be eating them classic Lay's potato chips.
Because just like drug addiction, you'll think that I can't get addicted to this, because even at one point I was hooked on coke. During that time frame that we're talking about, late 80s, early 90s, and you'll think, ain't nobody, I'm not gonna get hooked. I'm stronger than this, and before you know it, you're hooked. And what happens is, I'm not saying that food is as bad as, although it can be, I'm not saying food is as bad as drugs, but still that frame of mind is, I buy one bag, I'll be okay. And then the next day, you're in that supermarket, again, buying another bag. 2 bags ain't gonna hurt me. Before long, you go through a week and you've bought 4 bags. And you're going
to man. And that stuff, and they big as hell. It's got so much damn salt in it.
So
man, if I check my blood,
allow yourself to indulge.
Yep. So in 2025, we're gonna keep hope alive, and we're gonna stay away from our vices when we see them in the store. And right now, between now and the new year, which is we only have 8 days. We have 8 days until the new year. I already know. Classic Lay's potato chips are going to appear on the shelf. We are I walked into Trader Joe's. They had every candy cane, chocolate thing you could think of going out. In Safeway, they had this, I don't even know why you would eat it, this pretzel with cream and all this stuff. It was 4 layers. And I was like, man,
whew, there's all kinds of pretzels in Philly. Philly is pretzels.
Yeah, on your way out of the store, and so they're tempting you as you're going through the checkout. So you got to ignore all that stuff
Yeah.
that in the past used to get us hooked up, and we know we shouldn't be eating, and it tastes good, and we've had our time. So
Yeah.
in 2025, let's move forward. We're going to live healthy and wealthy. Thank you, Cameron, for educating us, man, putting us up on it. We're definitely going to be coming back with more wealth and health, man. We're definitely going to be, and Cameron Brown has his own channel, Cameron Brown Lifestyle. So make sure you follow this guy, subscribe to this guy. The dude is jacked. He's yoked up, man. He's living a healthy and wealthy lifestyle, man. So thank you, everybody, and God bless, man. I'll talk to you on the next one, Cameron.
All right, man. See you
All
later.
right. Take care.
All right.